Hey y'all, welcome back to SJGames Live. It's 2023 and I'm here with Jimmy.
Yep. Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah, we're back for the first stream of the year and we're going to start off kind of with almost a horoscopy type of stream, I'd say, for the year 2023. Today we're going to be messing around with the Elder Futhark Die. I'll throw it in the overhead so you can kind of see that a little bit clearer. But the Elder Futhark Die is one of the mini dice available on our dice store right now. We actually extended the date. It's going to be closing on the 16th. Pre-orders are open right now for the different dice available there. And the Elder Futhark Die is a special die. You can see it here. Very cool, detailed die. It's very akin to our Zodiac die. We did a stream based on that. You can find that on YouTube if you check that out. But essentially, both the Elder Futhark and the Zodiac die are based around symbols of different types. Obviously, the Zodiac is based around the traditional Zodiac. This is based on runes. Essentially, this booklet here is a small introduction to those runes. Tells you how to read them. These are essentially, the closest thing you can get to like Viking era runes, essentially, is what we're looking at here.
Right. It's calls back to the divination methods that they use in Nordic regions and stuff.
Yeah, Nordic runes, essentially. And this is like a lot of this might be runes you might have seen in other maybe video games.
Oh yeah,
other tabletop
Tolkien
games,
used
stuff
them.
like that.
If you used the Ultima series, they're used throughout there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether their original meanings or not are in those, but they definitely use the alphabet and assign their own stuff to it. A lot of games use dwarvish stuff.
Yeah, dwarvish stuff that uses a lot of this stuff. Our own Doug Cole at Gaming Ballistic has used a lot of this stuff for his Nordland series.
Oh yeah.
I want to say for Dungeon Fantasy. What we're going to be doing is something similar to last time with the Zodiac die. If you didn't catch that, though, we essentially are going to make kind of RPG character backgrounds using the die and show you guys one way you can use that. You can use these for any assortment of things. This book is actually really cool. It tells you how to read the dice or read the runes first. So it just basically right there it's useful in the sense that you can like roll it.
This rune means this.
Yeah, you'd be able to read the rune. Kind of it gives you an explanation of the runes. It doesn't work exactly like the Zodiac die because Zodiac is more like based on your backgrounds and stuff like that. Had a little bit different stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a little more like my understanding of it is that these are a little more like tarot in that
Yes.
there are many different ways to do a reading of them rather than just a single thing, and how you do what type of reading you do determines how they relate to each other. Whereas Zodiac's pretty set, and there's like one way to do.
There's more predetermined, like here's the rising, here's the there's different sign stuff. But
so it's a little more varied. So it doesn't have quite as many pre-laid out options, but there's a lot of things you can do for this. You can use a single rune for something. You can do kind of past, present, future for something. You can just use it to like put a message on a magic sword, or randomize the features of a magic weapon you're going to put in your game.
Yeah, you can do tons of stuff with this. Like random encounters, like what the focus of the encounters are, stuff like that. Again, you can do that with the Zodiac die as well. There's a lot of cool uses for these. We think making the character just makes it a more interesting stream because I can make a whole background of something and kind of explain the reasoning behind it. It also, we found when we did the Zodiac die, when I want to see if something similar happens here, I was able to make characters I wouldn't have necessarily made naturally on my own. Because it gives you a set of like different constraints to have to think about versus just like your normal. Like I find this when I'm playing tabletop games in general, when I play an RPG, is I kind of fall into archetypes a lot of the time, and where I'm just like, okay,
once you're comfortable playing and stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes even if I'm not even noticing that there's a trend, I'll have something like, no, this guy's different because he's a bard. No, this guy's different because he's a rogue. It's like, yeah, but you're playing the same character. You're just playing like yourself. This particular guy.
You're just playing this kind of different.
Yeah, exactly. So this gives me a way to like not do that.
Yeah, it gives a good jumping off point and something where, especially at the beginning parts of a campaign, where maybe you don't really, you've got an idea of the character but not real fleshed out, and so this gives you kind of like extra background to pull from that maybe you didn't have to generate yourself, or wasn't where you'd normally come from when you were starting the character. So it gives you a way to go, well, actually, I based it on this, so maybe this guy is going to go this way or this way instead of the way I would normally go with that.
Yeah. I did want to mention again, this dice store is closing on the 16th. We also have a couple other pre-order things open right now that want to make note of, especially RPG focused and otherwise. We have The bundle of holding ends on Monday.
Oh,
And that
yeah.
is again the fantasy trip. So if you're into playing RPGs and you want to jump in, it's a really good onboard point. I wanted to make note of it because it's like for the amount of stuff you get the entire Legacy Edition plus 3 other things for like a really
It's
low
like
price.
30, 35,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
like $30 and you get like all this stuff. And
And
then
Legacy Edition has what, Melee Wizard in a Labyrinth, a lot of adventures with it.
extra, just tons of extra stuff in
Pretty much
there.
everything you would need aside from more adventures. But
Yeah, yeah.
all of the core stuff is in there.
And that's just the base one, because then if you do the bundle of holding thing where if you beat like the average essentially,
Yeah.
you get to unlock all the extra stuff. And there's like 4 more supplements that come
Nice.
along with it. So it's
Nice.
a lot. It's a lot of content if you're interested in starting a new RPG, or if you've thought about playing the fantasy trip and wanted to jump in. It's a really low price way. You get a ton of content for a really low price. It's all PDF, so it's digital. Really convenient stuff.
Doesn't take up that shelf space.
Exactly. Super convenient. Also, if you're a Munchkin fan, Witches, that backer kit is extended, so keep an eye out for that. Those pre-orders are still open. There's a ton of new Munchkin expansions, stuff like that on there. There's a lot of mini expansions on there to check out.
Yeah, because in the backer kits, we usually have extras we can throw in on there. So things that have maybe come out recently.
Yeah, there's a lot of upcoming stuff like cows and squids and stuff like that that's on there that we haven't even released yet.
Yeah, because it's still pre-order, so we can still get it in ahead of time. So
Good chance to get a lot of that
sneak
stuff.
peeks on some things.
Yeah, and
first ones have it.
Tomorrow, Illuminati Digital should be hitting Steam. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that one got delayed a little bit over the holidays. Understandable.
Is it Derek who's doing that one?
Yeah, Derek Piercy
Yeah.
and the RadioFree.net crew. But that is
It
it's
looks really
technically
good.
just called Illuminati. I'm saying digital just because it's on Steam. But yeah, Illuminati is coming out. It's not straight Illuminati. It's actually based on Illuminati New World Order.
Right, it's
from the
based on
90s.
the TCG we did.
It's not
back in the
exactly a
90s.
1-to-1. It's the gameplay is similar, but like cards have been like it's been updated a little bit to work in the digital space.
Wait, and I was seeing some of the notes he has on it. They basically are releasing it with different modes of play. So you can play the original version, which just has the groups that were around in the 80s. You can play the version that came out, the cards that were kind of released with the CCG in the 90s, or you can play the modern day one that's sort of taken some things out, added some things back in. So depending on which era you want to play, apparently that's a setting you can just choose in the game what type of game you're going to run.
We'll probably stream that at some point as well, like we did Munchkin Digital, and we'll probably stream some more Munchkin Digital coming out.
I haven't seen the gameplay, but I saw some of the art. And it looks
We just
good.
want to, it'll come out. That I'm not gonna say it's a for sure next week's stream, but we'll keep an eye on that to make sure it's
It'll be soon.
good to go. Yeah, it's in early access, so we just want to make sure it's all like good to go because it's early access. They're always looking for feedback and make sure that nothing's busted, nothing game breaking or anything like that. They've done a lot of testing, but
There's always those corner cases. Anything right in software.
Yep, exactly. Jim, you want to jump in here?
Sure. Let's do it.
So the way I was thinking, what we could do to do it in kind of a similar format as our what we did for Zodiac Die, but in just using the stuff that the runes offer, is maybe have you do a few different roles per character to determine a few different aspects of them.
Okay.
Like so big things with the runes is there's a direct meaning, there's divination keywords, and then there's a big explanation of like more detailed as to what that rune is. So what I'm thinking is maybe we can use the direct meaning and the keywords kind of separately almost. Like maybe
Just
we
use
roll
those
one.
as inspiration words for your character.
Yeah. Exactly. So maybe what we're thinking is what I'm thinking is we do maybe direct meaning for a physical look or trait, and we do the divination stuff because to me it's like direct meaning is physical, divination would be more spiritual / stuff. So maybe we do like one roll for direct meaning and help work out how that physically manifests, and then do maybe 1 or 2 rolls on divination, maybe whatever you feel like is more fun, and work those into a background for a character or 2 each.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
You could do one roll for how they grew up and one roll for how they got into adventuring. Say these are starting adventures.
Yeah, that could work. Do you want to do it like that?
Do 2 rolls and pick one for how they grew up, where they're from, and one for how they got into adventuring.
In addition to the other stuff, or
I know, like one physical, and then those are the 2 rolls. You roll
Oh,
twice.
I get
you.
you.
Pick one.
Yeah,
That would give you a little freedom to flip them, but like that gives you like.
No, that makes sense. Do you want to do yours first? I can do your reading for you, a new roll.
Sure. Let's.
And I really want to show this die off. It's
How many sides is on that die?
Good question. I didn't count it. 1, 2, 3.
It's on the. I think it's 24,
Is it 20?
26.
It's a weird number. I think it's 24. I think that sounds right. Because there's actually, so fun fact, there's actually a little history of the die shape as well.
Oh yeah. Well, it's probably in that.
It's actually
24 sides.
24.
24 sides.
It's on the packaging. I don't have the packaging. I threw the packaging out. It's called a deltoidal icosatetrahedron.
Icosatetrahedron.
Yep.
Say that
Thanks,
2 times
Jimmy. So let's show this die though. I wanted to show it because it looks just like kind of flat, but each of these little brown sections is actually indented around the rune, and the rune is like it's like raised.
So
in each
the
spot.
dark spot is recessed and the
Yeah.
the rune is engraved.
It's really
So
cool.
they're all
It's like
engraved in there.
honeycombed almost. It's very cool. Very, very cool die. I love the colors too. It's like a vanilla. It looks like a piece of candy to me. It's like chocolate vanilla. It looks great. Jimmy
that
just
is
ate it. Oh wait, no.
No, yeah. Yeah, like at a distance, it looks like that's black. But it is like that's a nice deep brown.
Yeah, it's like a mahogany or something. It's
Yeah,
great.
and like a kind of cream off white. It's
Yeah.
nice.
So Jimmy, how about you do your rolls first? I'll give you your readings on these. So we'll say the first roll is the
First
physical
roll's gonna be a
part,
physical roll, yeah.
and then we'll do two rolls for the other one.
All right, so physical roll we have.
I'm not like to see that there. Okay, it's kind of okay.
It's the one that looks like a P.
I think
but
I'm
it's-
actually already turned to it, right? Is that it?
No, it's gonna be higher. It's gonna be at the
Oh,
top.
you're right. That's the middle one. Yeah.
I remember. I used these when I played Ultima.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. That is Wunjo Win. Wynn. And Wunjo, the joy that will all tears relieve. There we go. The direct meaning is joy, transliterated as W or the initial V. So yeah, Vin. So joy. And the divination keyword is joy. So, well, I guess we're really only doing the direct meaning for the first
so
part.
direct meaning is joy. That's a little hard for physical.
Well,
Like
not
it's like
so let's
like
say-
a happy person. Right?
yeah,
Positive, happy, outgoing person.
yeah,
right?
yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be like their physical appearance. It's just like
Right.
their general mannerism.
Yeah,
Or
yeah. So
something.
it's an outward thing. So
Yeah.
outwardly,
Some outward thing. It could be that they're big or something, but maybe or stoic or something. But maybe that's his. So we're gonna say that you're
so kind of a positive, happy person here.
okay, which is that's you in real life. But I don't know if that's your normal character. I feel like you're more sardonic whenever we're playing RPGs.
It depends on the character.
Just sure, I
Uh,
guess.
I do lean towards the tactician types, so a little more analytical when I'm doing
Yeah.
the characters. All right, so we got the outward one is kind of a positive, happy.
So do you
kind of
want to do
person.
the two rolls next in like just do both of them and then pick between the two for which
Yeah,
one
let's
is more your
do so
background?
2 inner rolls. So let's do outer and inner. So outer is that. So inner, the first roll we have is I believe that's an E. Looks like an M.
Okay, I'll find that here. This is my first time ever actually looking at runes, so this is cool. I mean, not the first time I've ever seen them because I was a huge Lord of the Ring fan and stuff like that.
But actually investing what they
Yeah, I
are.
never actually checked. Ewaz, Ehwaz. So we're gonna see Ewaz is horses that strain at the plow. Direct. I'm gonna say the direct meaning, but we're really looking at the other one.
Yeah.
But they're kind of tied in together. Direct meaning horse. It's literally horse. Divination keywords: stress and progress. Interesting. Ewaz is hardworking horses and the routine stress of daily life. It speaks to an awareness that life is a journey, even if progress may not be obvious. It promises that while day-to-day life may not be easy, it is definitely worthwhile. Ewaz does not change when seen in the past, as it has no opposite to change into. As an inscription, it is more appropriate as an award for a job well done than as a talisman, though it would not be out of place as a blessing on any vehicle with an engine. I do like some of that stuff where it has like that's a really minor touch that he mentions at the end, vehicle with an engine.
Right.
Like that's not relevant to runes of that era. He's obviously included that because
if you're
it's like
doing,
an
like,
inspiration for an RPG. of some
RPG,
sort.
if you're doing like weird, you do weird Nordic steampunk mishmash. Sort of stuff, you do something like that.
Or dwarven stuff. again.
Yeah, dwarven stuff. There you go.
There you go.
All right, so we've got that. Just stress, progress, hardworking. Our second inner one is going to be, I believe that is an N.
Which one are we looking at?
This one right here, the line with the slash through it.
Okay, got
Diagonal
it.
slash through it.
Show that one to the camera just so people can see what we're looking at there.
Here it is, right here.
This one here?
Yes.
Okay. That was Hagalaz. Or there are a few other pronunciations. Heigl. Heigl. I don't know if the H is silent or not. I don't think if it's harder. Hagal or Hall. Hall is the hail, smashing all things in sight. Oh boy. Direct meaning is hail. Divination is misfortune and change. Interesting. Hagalaz is, without question, the most negative rune in the Futhark. So, you were the joy and also Hagalaz. Hagalaz.
Haagen-Dazs?
Hagalaz. If you notice, I actually can say Elder Futhark now. It only took me a few months.
All right.
It is the runic equivalent of the Tower of the Tarot. So again, we mentioned that it has their similarities with the Tarot.
Right, right.
So you could use this similar to Tarot. Hail is just plain bad news for everyone. Hagalaz is somewhat mitigated when it is seen in the past because it then implies that the storm is over, the damage has been done, it's time to start anew. As an isolated inscription, Hagalaz is a curse. Interesting, because that could be the background.
Say it one more. I was checking chat. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. So essentially, what it's saying is Hagalaz
I heard
is
part of the tower. What was after that part?
it's essentially a curse. But it's bad. But in the past tense, it's not necessarily bad. It's that it's past. So hail is just plain bad news for everyone. Hagalaz is somewhat mitigated when it's seen in the past. It implies the storm, the bad stuff is over. So that could be a good background rune. Like you're joyful now, but in the past you were really down on their luck or something like that.
Right, right.
So
also includes ferocious, determined tenacity. Okay, we'll keep going. We'll get through this.
Where's tenacity? It's this one, right?
Did you read this one instead of this one?
Oh, it's this one?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! I read the wrong one. I'm sorry, guys.
Whoops.
That one's Naughties.
I thought it was the end. Yeah.
Naiad. Well, you notice why you said in.
Oh yeah.
It looks like it. This one looks like a literal in.
Yeah.
Sorry. Naiad is the hearth fire that burns through the night. Direct meaning need or hardship. Still not great. Transliterated isn't it? There we go. Divinatory keywords: hardship or determination. So it's similar, but not. It doesn't sound as negative. It's like one step off of the last one. The image that is most associated with Nadi's is that of a survival fire, the fire that must be kept burning until the blizzard ends, lest everyone freeze. It is second most negative rune. Okay, there we go. Second most negative rune of the set. No one wants to be caught between a fire that is far too small and an unpleasant death, but the image also includes a ferocious, determined tenacity. We will keep the fire going. We will get through this. Among the 4 fire light rooms of the Futhark, Nadi's can be regarded as desperate fire. As with Hagalaz, an isolated inscription of Nadi's is a curse. Okay, so I'm glad I did read Nadi's. I did read Hagalaz because they're very similar.
Right, right. So all right. So for our inner ones, we have Ewaz and Nadi's. So one is horse or stress, progress, hardworking stuff, and then Nadi's is a need or a hardship, but also determination. It's the small fire that keeps you going through stuff.
Those are pretty complementary. It's going to be interesting to see it combined with that joy part of it, like where we want to. How you want to position it.
So outwardly, we're going kind of outward and inward. So outwardly is a happy kind of go-lucky person. Inwardly, like we're talking, why, how did he, like his backstory growing up and how he got to adventuring, right? So I think what we do with this is we say, okay, we'll use in order. The backstory growing up we'll go with Ewaz, the hardworking, progress, stress sort of thing. So maybe this guy was originally, he's a commoner, he's a farmer, he's some sort of tradesman, farmer, does the work all day, pretty much enjoys it, everything like that. And then you have Nadi's as the catalyst becoming an adventure, some real hardship. Maybe there was some sort of famine or raid or something like that. But I'm going to go with the phrase ahead there, like, the fire that lasts you through the storm. It's hard. It's almost about to go out, but because he's got that hardworking background behind him, so this is kind of the test that makes him into an adventurer, and he's the one who steps up, and he is that farmer or just farmer or laborer, peasant that.
Maybe protecting their town or village or
when
something
push
like
comes
that.
to shove and someone needs to step up to do it, he's the guy who grabs the pickaxe or whatever and steps up and takes up arms to do the
Okay.
thing, even though he's not trained for it. He's just got all he's got is that hardworking thing, and outwardly he's positive because that's going to lead into the we will get through this. Like, through the hardworking background, he's just determined that it's going to happen, and he's going to have to be the one that makes it happen.
Okay.
So you're looking at the standard. I'm thinking we're going to go with the trope, but the commoner who has had to come up and step up and be more.
That makes sense.
And maybe not through any sort of. He's not necessarily exceptional physically or exceptionally talented or anything. It's just he's determined.
You
he's
mentioned
gonna push through it.
like a pickaxe. Maybe it could be a miner or something like that.
I just said pickaxe or spade or some sort of working tool
Yeah.
that can be used to implement something like that. So I don't know specifically which trade, like some sort of commoner. I'd probably look at the tool. What I would do from here, I'd say I'd look at a spade of working tools.
Let's say we're actually making the character. Let's say like not that we need a specific system. We're not going to stat it out or something like that. But let's say we're going to make it.
So we can say he's a miner because that the pickaxe works as something that can become a weapon easily enough.
Yeah, and you can always be better at other. You can eventually, especially in RPGs, you get learn
better
on the fly.
Yeah, this is starting out what happens.
Exactly.
Hardworking, does the mining day in day out, and then I'm going to say it's probably an external threat at this point.
Sure.
Some sort of existential external threat. Maybe goblins in the mines.
Oh, that'd be
or
fun.
Something like that, and then most people are just not equipped to handle that.
Yeah, I guess in a classic RPG world, you're used to like goblins in the mines is probably one of the most consistent tropes. Like you go in the mine, there's goblins, but they're mines. Theoretically, it's not filled with a bunch of adventurers ready to kill goblins. It's filled with miners because it's mine.
Filled with people down there digging.
It's not
coal
just
out or
it's
something.
not generally like a cave. So eventually, someone has to be the first people to find the goblins.
Right, or they run upon. So
you don't really see that part of it. So that's kind of actually interesting because it's like the perspective of like what happens if you're the regular guy who finds the goblins.
Right, or these things are in there, and before it's some small town. The adventurers aren't there yet, so who's going to do it?
Yeah, you still got to go mine.
Yeah, so
because they're making you mine.
That's how the town survives.
Yeah,
like without the coal, the town doesn't make it through the winter. They don't have anything to burn.
Yeah,
so someone's still got to go down there and do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's him. Like there were goblins in the mines. Winter was coming or was already there, and the town doesn't survive if they don't have the coal to burn. So
he's gotta go get it.
He's the one who said, "Okay," goes down there. Back me up.
Big brawler buddy running around with the pickaxe.
Yep,
that sounds fun. That's a cool character.
That's what we'll go with that character.
Now I'm interested in the joyful thing. If maybe he takes joy in his job, maybe he likes the.
Well, I think I don't know if it's necessarily like joyful at the moment this is how I got into adventuring. So maybe, but the positive side of it was that plus the determination of we're going to get through this. We can do this. I'll make this happen.
Sure.
The positive outlook of.
You're thinking of more of a positive outlook overall, like he's gonna like working it in there. That makes sense.
Right. Well, use that to like how does it combine to make the character?
For some reason in my head, whenever I hear the word joy like that,
just smiling.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I was thinking like I think it's the time of the year when I'm hearing like joyful like cherry cheeks.
Right.
I'm thinking like Ghost of Christmas Present kind of guy, like big dude, like hey, I got a bunch of like fruit and stuff ready to wail on, but he has a pickaxe. He's wailing on goblins.
So maybe he starts there, but maybe that's where he gets to. Like, all right, now that he's an adventurer, like, well, he found out he can do it.
Yeah,
and he actually maybe he does actually. He likes getting out there. Like, he's gonna have to like that because that's why he's going to move away from the working and just surviving to making adventuring his career.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where that plays in is that he's decided he's actually. Really enjoys the fighting aspect of it, or the pushing back and helping people aspect, and that brings him joy. So that's why he's shifting into doing that instead of being a laborer anymore. The necessity's over, and he's found that he enjoys that a lot.
There you go. Now you just have to come up with a name, and then you've got a character.
Names. We need another die for the names.
Yeah, roll die, and it's Gibo.
We need a name generator die. We have alphabet dice somewhere, don't we?
We have alphabet dice. We got there's so many new. By the way, guys, I'm mentioning the Elder Futhark here. Like, there's so much more on there. That we have the brick dice. We've got the new polyhedral dice set for Munchkin.
The bad luck dice. The
bad luck dice. The Seven Deadly Sins dice.
Yeah, all sorts of good inspirational things.
Yeah, we just picked the Elder Futhark because this one actually happens to be in hand right now for us. There's a lot of cool ones.
Check chat for a minute here, see how things
Oh
are
yeah, if
going.
you have any questions, let me, Jimmy, let me.
William Hellisis on YouTube says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Says that we need a monocle for the die.
The Elder Futhark.
And wonders if we pursued making edible dice.
No, we've not pursued edible anything. Technically, I mean, it's eatable. Is it edible?
No, I think people do. Like some people who have make the resin dice molds, they can also you could probably do like hard candies in them or something. I know people do chocolate dice,
True.
but we don't.
We do not.
We are.
If we tried to, like, I'm gonna put it this way, it's fine for about 6 weeks throughout the year if we try to ship candy. Outside of that, you're not getting dice. You're getting a big glob of something. There ain't gonna be dice in that package.
Yeah,
I promise you.
and it depends. Like, is it 15 this week or 80 this week?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, we had it was 15 over Christmas,
be
and then
both.
it's been 80 ever since.
Yeah, we had like a 15-degree Christmas and an 80-degree New Year.
It's pretty crazy.
And then Gene says that they do font stuff, so they've got an Elder Futhark font, and then the good thing about the bundle of holding is it doesn't take up all half a cubic foot of your shelf space.
Yeah, that's actually very useful. Although I'm a sucker for physical stuff too. So if you want the physical, it is available through our Warehouse 23. But digital's very.
But if you want to get started, find out which thing you reference the most.
You can also start TFT for free if you want to check out. We have Melee available on Warehouse 23, which we've done on stream before as well. So you can check that out.
I'll do a name later, but I think that's the character for that one.
Sure, I think that's a great character. That's a really cool take on it. And again, we're just doing it based off of die rolls. It's not like that took us like I know that. Some people want to spend a lot of time on characters, but if you're generating, if you want to make,
but that's a character idea. You can you can work out mechanics and other stuff and details, family names later.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say. If you want to get people started fast, especially if you get the bundle of holding and you want to start someone out, you want to build a character in a session. Just let them do this, see what happens.
Yeah, just make this your session 0.
Session 0 is this, or you make the users to make NPCs because that could easily be an NPC just as much like an important character that you encounter in an adventure.
He's the guy who's holding off the goblins till when the party gets there.
When you
right.
Tell me how many times you've encountered someone. It's like we've got monsters. He's the guy that like they are the person that like has to coordinate what you're doing. They're like your point of contact. So
your guy. Well, we've been mostly finding them down here, but
exactly.
We got too many. That's why we call for you.
So I will go next.
All right. So we're gonna do one kind of outer physical and 2 inner. All right.
Let's see what we get here. Okay.
Candy heart dice have nice flavor, but are hard to chew. Yeah, Paul, don't chew the candy heart dice.
It's this one here.
Okay, I believe that's a G, or translates to a G. And the things that I recall. Oh no, it's O. Okay, that is Othala. Odo, Otho, Otholan, Oath.
Oath.
And Othala is home when the journey is due. So the direct meaning is chattel or estate, translated as an O. So this is the outward. It's estate or chattel.
Okay.
Divinatory keywords are home, family, and loyalty.
Okay.
So the direct meaning is like an estate. Othala
returning home.
Othala is home, not in the sense of a place you own, or a place you live, but a place or things or people that own you. This is not a commercial or legal phenomenon. Othala is that which holds your heart. Othala is that for which you are willing to die. Othala does not change much over time. In the past or the present, it is a reminder of that which matters most. In the future, it's a promise of continuity. As an inscription, Othala marks a place or probably a thing as precious.
This is a pretty classic fantasy trope, I feel like, too. Because this is like the guy who carries, or the person who carries around like a picture of their family or something like that. That's like their like outward motivation towards like they don't, not necessarily their internal. Well, it's their internal to one too potentially here, but if we're using outward, they definitely are like open in their sense that they're like fighting for their family or to get back home. That's like the Odyssey or something like that.
Right. So that's your external.
Okay, and then we'll do 2 internal ones here. So that one is that Y? Maybe not. I saw that one. There it is.
Algiz, Elhaz, Elgaz. It's the elk.
I'm gonna turn it around because it's actually that's the way the symbol is oriented.
So the direct meaning is elk. It's literally Z for a letter, though.
Oh, interesting.
The divinatory keywords are sanctuary and protection.
Oh, this is starting to come together.
Algiz is another protection rune in parallel with Thurizaz, but Algiz is a shield rather than a fortress. It's also more generally positive, whereas Thurizaz is haunted by the giant in the background. Algiz is the speed and strength of the elk without lurking negatives, though it's still subject to reversal when viewed in the past. In divination, Algiz means safety or sufficiency. As a talisman, it's a shield.
Okay, so shielding, protection, sanctuary. Got it.
Right. Unless it's in the past, in which case it's opposite of that.
Okay, got it.
That one, I believe, is the...
That's a different one. No, we haven't done that. It's interesting. We've gotten all unique ones. I mean, I guess it's 24 sides, and we've only rolled it 6 times. So
Right.
pretty good odds.
Dagaz. Direct meaning day, translated as D. Dag is the fire from the eye of the sun. Divinatory keywords, energy and breakthrough.
Okay.
Dagaz is fire. Among the fire and light runes of the Futhark, it's specifically wildfire. It's energy and action and just a touch of madness. In divination, it indicates
Touch of badness or madness?
madness.
Interesting.
In divination, it indicates that some action must be taken, though when seen in the past, it is read as a loss of energy. As a talisman, it's a source of energy with a definite overtone of going at full throttle.
This is interesting. This is... So I was heading in one direction at the very beginning of it, and then kind of shifted with that last roll. Because the first couple rolls, it's like you're loyal to your home, you're loyal to your family, and then it was very protectory type kind of stuff where you're like, you're fighting protection. I kind of want to take that, I want to reverse it almost. So you mentioned the, I'm sorry, I keep hitting the table, guys. The elk rune, the second one, Augies. If you do it in the past, it's reverse. So it's essentially lack of sanctuary, lack of protection.
Right. So it's speed and strength while lurking negative, but the past, it's
And if they the day free, very breakthrough, touch of madnessy type stuff. When I hear that stuff, I'm thinking almost like a berserker type person, but maybe not full, like a fighter of some sort, a more. So not a knight to me, because if I'm reading it,
not like a disciplined fighter.
Exactly. If I'm reading it reversed, I'm reading it more like a knight type character, paladin-esque type thing, shielding, hearth and home, protecting yourself. But if I'm reading it backwards, which is the way I'm kind of reading it now, is maybe this character was protecting something, but he failed. He was his whole thing is that they failed to protect their home. They failed to protect their family, and their family's dead now, which is a tropey background, but everything's a trope.
Yeah, so they still carry that family with them, but not necessarily in a positive sense. Yeah. But it informs their...
So I'm going to relate this to a movie. I don't know why, but I don't know if you've ever seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You spend the whole movie with John Candy, and he's always talking about how his wife is alive. He's talking about his wife as if she's there, and then you find out she had died. Sorry, spoilers for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles if you haven't seen that.
Come on, dude.
I'm sorry.
It's been out a little bit.
It's been out for a while.
Spoiler for a movie from '88. But anyway, this guy could talk about his family like they're alive, and you don't actually know that they're not alive anymore.
And at some point, that's a reveal.
That's that's his whole point, is to try to that's his whole motivation, and you don't know that they're actually dead.
Chad says, "What a bring down you are, Hunter."
I know, I'm a bummer.
Gosh,
he's whatever, man.
Hi, Randy.
It's true. It's a trope, but it's a thing. And the way the runes work out, I feel like that makes sense, because you're putting that one in the past. It's not like that I failed at protecting something. I failed,
and that's caused the bit of haphazardness or bit of lack of regard in his fighting.
Exactly. Maybe they were a knight or something like that. They did shield stuff. They were they were a guard of the town. They were something like that.
Now they're a little more frenetic. They go a little over the top when they shouldn't. They go a little beyond what they should.
They almost want to die now. Yeah. They're fighting to protect stuff, but in their head it's just something.
It's all to try to succeed at the thing they already failed at.
This character specifically does not. This is a berserker, essentially. This is a fighter. This is a berserker type of fighter where they wear little armor. They're not. They swing axes, because axes sound cool. Either an axe and a sword, or 2 axes, and they're pretty much just kill me. and no one can kill them. They're just too good to die. They keep killing stuff, and they aren't. They're like. I'm not trying to make. I didn't intend to make it sound Nordic, but it feels like a very kind of like tropey Nordic Valhalla type thing, where a character's trying to be like a barbarian dude that's like.
Right. Like he only knows battle and he failed at that, so he's trying to redeem himself or die trying.
Yeah.
Or maybe die, maybe redeem himself trying.
Yep, and I feel like since we're using those tropes, it's something the something. It's one name the something, like the red or the whatever. That'd be cool. Okay, I don't actually. So oddly enough, while this is a huge trope, I do not play a barbar. Like this is the opposite of a character I would ever play. Like I do not.
You tend to stick to like the rogue types.
When I mentioned before, like rogue, bard, stuff like that. Anything where I can role play and not interact in combat at all.
Be at the back or the side of things.
Yeah, anything where I'm like, cool. So y'all are fighting. How about a saw?
I'm gonna go over here and crossbow from the corner.
Yeah, pretty much. Like anything that can get me away from everything, I'm fine with that. So this dude would be the antithesis. Well, that's what I like about this. We can create a character that's not in our wheelhouse. Let's do one more because these are pretty cool. We can roll this one together. How about that? We'll just do a reading of it.
Oh, do
and kind of interpret
character.
it. Yeah, we'll just do another one because these are a lot of fun. So let's do. We'll alternate rolls. How about that?
All right, so what's our physical?
Oh, that's another one we don't have yet. The physical one is going to be.
I believe that's the orientation.
Let's see.
Actually, it may be the other way.
I think I just didn't go far enough. No. Interesting. Am I crazy?
Is there a page stuck together somewhere?
It's possible. I just skipped it too.
Here, let me look.
Oh, here
there
it is.
you
It was
Page
it
one.
was yes, you're right. Yes. Uruz, or Yer. The direct meaning aurochs. Say it like the old cows. Divination keyword strength and health. Uruz is healthy and is almost as uncomplicated as Fehu. It goes through the same transmutations over time, and as a talisman is intended to summon or preserve good health. The only complication in this is the anachronistic irony provided by the fact that Uruz's namesake, the large and fierce bovine, better known as the aurochs, became extinct in the 17th century. This was never a consideration during the heyday of the runes. Its modern significance is up to the individual runecaster. So, yeah. That's what I said, the old cows.
Right.
You roll one. I'll see.
Right, so that's our outward.
Yeah, that's our
So
outward.
this is obviously some sort of big, strong person, right?
Yeah. Or they're extinct. One of the two.
Since it's not really considered.
I know.
A relic of the past.
They're a relic of the past. That is. Ooh,
That could be too.
Ooh, that'd be fun. It's an old cop that can't. Let's see.
It's kind of like
Maybe
Yep,
a
Mr.
warrior
Hero,
from a
that's-
kingdom that doesn't
there it is.
exist anymore.
Tiwaz, yeah. Tyr. This is a Tyr. Tyr is the spear with which warriors kill. Direct meaning arrow of the or the god Tyr. Divinatory keywords triumph. Tiwaz is Tyr's rune, and Tyr is an oddity. He is most purely a warrior in a pantheon full of warriors, but there's evidence that he was once king of his own pantheon, which was absorbed and mostly assimilated by the Norse Aesir. Tyr's story is marked by a triumph at cost. He sacrificed his right hand so that the other gods could bind the monster wolf Fenrir, and he was foretold to die as he kills his last opponent. In divination or as a talisman, Tiwaz means triumph, but with an awareness that nothing is ever free. That's a very interesting one. I like that. That's a deep one.
So triumph
Triumph at a cost.
but at a cost.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
that. That's a cool one. And that one, we again didn't get any repeats. That's cool. I think I passed
So
that
you're
one.
looking for an X, basically.
Yeah, X marks the spot. X marks the Gibo.
That's
Or
the G.
Geofu, Gifu, or Gar. Gibo is a gift that you can give or receive. The direct meaning is gift. Divination keywords are transaction and balance. Gibo is every bit as simple as the concept of gift, which is to say not at all, as gift is obligation. It quickly stretches to include the concept of commercial transaction. Like Kaunin, Gibo doesn't really reverse when seen in the past, but rather concerns the continuing significance of some past transaction. There's also magical significance to the concept of gifting, particularly pure, obligation-free gifting. A valuable item might be inscribed with Gibo to indicate that there were truly no strings attached. That's a cool one. That's very interesting. Like someone who maybe, like that could be a more physical trait where there may be they've been gifted a power or a weapon or something like that. Like that's their power, where their power is generating from. It's very He-Man-esque. Like you've been given
Well, if
sort
we're
of
going
power.
through what we're doing, we have an external one, and then one is the past, and one is the
Yes.
inspiration for adventure.
Yes.
So obviously, some sort of large, healthy or sturdy person. That's what we're looking at.
So here's a concept. Here's a concept. This is the high level concept for one. So let's say the gift is the past. What was the other one again? The middle one?
Tier triumph. So
Triumph.
Aerosphere, but triumph at a cost.
That would be interesting. So what if so I'm thinking sturdy person. They have been given a gift. What if the gift was literally their demigod? They're like a Hercules type character. So not a god, but like a demigod, like an Achilles type thing or something like someone with the gift of
that's a lot for a starting adventure.
For sure. But like you can't make them invincible in a game or anything like that. But what if that part of it is they don't know that they're like that's what they are?
You do. I have another proposal.
Okay.
So you can almost take this literally, and if this is the past, if you can sort of combine these as the past and the inspiration for adventure.
Sure.
The triumph at a cost we have.
Okay.
And the gift. So you give them some sort of mildly magic sword or fortuitous sword that let them win a battle, but the cost was now they have to go forth and now they are serving whatever gave them the gift.
Oh, like a dark god type of thing.
Dark god, paladin, any of those things work.
Or
like they got a gift to let
wizard. They have to. Whoever gave them the
whatever gift they got, magical power, sword, whatever, made them become an adventurer. You know, the past it let them win, but the cost was they had to become an adventurer because of this.
Yeah.
And
they didn't have a home anymore. They had to roam and they had to like fight.
Right. So they are a sturdy, strong individual who was in some sort of crisis situation, got given this gift to get them out of it. They won.
Pit fighter becomes like Frank Frazetta warrior type guy.
Yeah. They won, but the cost is whoever gave them the gift is like, okay, now I need you to go do this.
Now you work for me.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is like it's like from a classic cop thing, but it's like one more thing and I'm one more job and I'm out of here. One more job and I get out. They're the John Wick of fantasy people. It's essentially fantasy John Wick. They were getting one more shot. Now they got to get out.
A little bit like that. Yeah.
I like it. No, that's cool. I dig that. Yeah, these are and the cool thing is like I mean, how long have we been streaming, Brandon? Not like.
About 45 minutes.
Yeah,
it's 3 characters, 45 minutes?
3 characters in 45 minutes. That's great. That's crazy good thing. You want to do one more since we're still under the hour?
Sure, we got. Let's see. Double check chat right here. Paul dropping spoilers for other series in there. Also, Frodo lives.
Oh,
what?
What?
Nah, he's dead.
What about Gollum?
Let me tell you about Anakin.
Gollum lives.
Dude.
All right. I don't have any other chat there. All right.
Cool. Let's do one more.
One more. All right.
I'd like to do. You roll it this time. I'll do this one here.
All right. We have another external.
Any repeat finally?
No.
I assume we have to repeat at some point.
We have the diamond.
Oh,
looking
interesting.
one.
Okay, so this is external. Diamond.
Goes this way.
There it is.
If you're looking at these, if you look at the shape on.
Oh, this is another god one.
If you look at the shape on these, the narrow point, because they're all kind of teardrop shape. The narrow point is the bottom. So if you know if you're reading it,
that makes sense.
You want to know if you're reading it right side up. Or
That's
not.
such a good design.
You can't
choice.
tell with the
I didn't
O,
even think about that.
But with this one, you can see like that way, literally pointing up. But yeah, they're this teardrop shape, so you can know which way to look for it.
I love the way this die look. It's such a good design. This one's direct meaning is God for and their commerce and germination. An earthly god of fertility and prosperity. He was king of Vanir, who seemed to been a competing pantheon that was in the process of being assimilated when the Norse myths crystallized.
Are you writing this one down, or am
Interesting.
I writing
I got it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Interesting. It indicates success and prosperity, though with the usual reversal info of the past. So this is one that does reverse in the past. So success and prosperity, but reverses.
Success and prosperity is our outward appearance. So this appears to be someone successful, maybe.
Yeah, someone who's not down on his luck like all of our other characters have been.
Who is that? Gold? Somebody or other golden mane?
Yeah, the gold dude. Maybe this is a merchant. because we don't do a lot of characters like that. I feel like.
All right, another new one.
Oh wow.
Looks like that. I believe that's a
Okay.
F.
I think you might be right.
Or-
That's a tree branch. Come on.
That's a tree branch. What are you thinking? Oh, it's almost close, but it wasn't exactly it.
That's gonna have the 2 angled up on it. Maybe it's. It might
Oh,
be
no,
A.
it's aiming the other direction. My bad. I think I saw it then. I was looking at it upside down.
Here, first page.
Is it first again? Okay. Fehu.
There.
Direct meaning is cattle. Divination keyword wealth. Uh-oh.
Okay.
So we've got 2 wealth triggers
So,
here.
so outwardly successful.
Fehu is wealth without complication or caveat. In the past, it is wealth hidden or lost. In the present, it is wealth held. In the future, it is wealth promised or arriving. As a talisman, it tends to summon prosperity, seemingly, of course. A note on transliteration of V: there is no V in the Elder Futhark. This leads to possible confusion in transliteration. The convention, as stated, is to use Wongo as the beginning of the words and Fehu otherwise. Interesting. Okay. So this is supposed to be an internal V, is what they're saying. It's
Yeah.
like kind of like when they didn't in previous like English where they didn't have certain
Yeah,
letters.
because the F and the V sound kind of.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
One more roll. What you got for me?
Our
This is
other
our first repeat.
Our other internal is. Looks like a B.
You haven't had that
Is
one
that-
either. No, I saw that one though. Let's see.
It's on lower left page, I believe.
I think
Nope,
yep,
roll
there it
right.
is. Berkanen, Bjorken, or Berkana. Bjork is the green things that grow up on the hill. Oh, it's birch, and it's fertility and beginnings. So we have a fertility gold, now fertility beginnings. This is a very specific character. Berkanen is springtime and green growing things and fertility. It is the rune of fresh starts and regeneration. Seen in the past, Berkanen speaks of continuation. As a talisman, it stands for healing and fertility. If there were gods specified by the name in the Futhark, Berkanen would be her rune. So
Outwardly, you've got success and
it's pretty much literally monetarily success, like your wealth, actual wealth. It feels like
I thought the second one was wealth.
they're both wealth.
They're both wealth.
The first one was wealth and fertility. The second one was wealth, and the third one was fertility.
Well, fertility, but also healing.
Also healing. When I look at this, I'm kind of thinking like part
Like
of it.
green, you can almost go.
Part of me was thinking druidic of some sort because green and stuff like that leads towards that. But the gold stuff almost counteracts it to a degree.
Yeah.
So maybe it's less druidic. Maybe it's not like a druid because druid to me reads very one with nature, almost opposite of gold.
Right.
Which you could make the wealth, the second wealth one, in the past because it said in the past it's like wealth lost. But I don't want to do another. I don't want to do a negative character.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna end it on a downer or a bummer since rated because I'm a bummer. They didn't lose. They didn't go broke and become a druid.
Well, and the outward appearance is success. They still appear successful, or
Yeah.
You could even go. This is someone who has the money to maybe they learn to be a healer, or
Yeah.
some sort of magic user or something like that. But they come from money, so they have the time to go buy.
This could be
lessons
a
or
fun.
whatever.
This could have been this might be a fun one to be like not necessarily a spoiled rich person, but just a rich person that's actually doing good for people.
Right.
Where you're actually like maybe they run a hospital or something like that, like a magic hospital or something of that nature. This feels a lot like a cool NPC that you could run too.
That could
Yeah,
be.
I was thinking of like some young nobility who's run
Yeah.
away from home, and even though they're the next in line, but they've gone off to try and do good in the world instead. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so as an adventurer, that as an NPC, it could be someone who's decided to use their money to make a hospital.
Yeah.
Or some the
Again,
fantasy equivalent.
another thing you don't usually get in fantasy is like public medical care.
Right.
That seems like a pretty interesting take on it. I feel like, yeah, that sounds like fun. I like this is one of my favorite activities we get to do when we do these streams. By the way, I love making characters like this. This is a blast. Yeah, I think that'd be fun. Like a character that's I like Brandon's idea of like a runaway nobility that's kind of doing their own thing, like almost started a Red Cross type of thing in their own in like a town or something like
Right.
that. Maybe it's near that mine earlier where they're like goblins coming out there like, well, we're calling in the Magic Red Cross.
we got to call Goblin Care in.
Goblin
Right.
Care.
Right, so like if you put these 4 characters together, we've got the peasant warrior,
Yep, we got the berserker that lost his family.
the person who lost his family. Who was the third one?
That was the last one we did. The one you were writing down.
what is it? Strength. Oh, the person that won their fight but got given a gift / ongoing
And then the
obligation.
healer. So we got pretty much.
And we don't know what, like, we didn't really decide if that gift was a weapon or magical power or
Sure.
whatever, but.
Yeah, I think in that case we'd probably want to make it. If say let's say we were making a party, that would
Right.
probably be a good one to give magical power to, because that could be your wizard. This is
That could be your offensive at magical
your
power.
healer.
Healer.
And then we have
One.
2 different types of fighters. We have like an armored fighter potentially, and like an unarmored berserker
Yeah.
fighter type character. Yeah, you're having yourself a little party there. And for once, we didn't make a bard or a rogue.
Right.
We did it. If we had made this party on our own, there'd be 2 bards and 2 rogues. Like, just
I
how it
might
would
have made
be.
a caster, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That was like also a rogue. You would have made a magic
I-
caster that's also good at the.
Look,
What do they
having
cast?
stealth is a good idea.
That's what I'm saying. His caster for sure would have been like, I'm also good at stealing stuff. That's irrelevant to my casting, but also I'm good at stealing
Like, Current
stuff.
Warlock may or may not also be the party's rogue equivalent.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I love about these. You get to do this one. We already did it with the Zodiac Die. If you want to find that stream in the past, really fun stuff. I love doing these because it makes you think outside of your normal box.
You don't have to go the full route on it. So if you just need, like, I need a quick. They suddenly asked, "What's up with the barkeep?" I don't know.
What's on
we
the?
got? We got the R. The barkeep is. Give me just a second. Flip through. Direct meaning is ride, journey, or wheel. Okay, this progress, merchant, journey. So he's the merchant that was successful and set up a bar here.
Bingo, mango. We
got,
got it.
got your answer.
Stop asking stupid questions or rule Elder Futhark at all. Dang it. We'll do it. I love stuff
Yeah,
like this.
It's a great little tool,
and
and
we
it's
have-
a cool die.
We have a number of dice like this. Maybe we'll do some other streams where we feature some of the other stuff. That these are easier to do because we can sit here and make characters and show you guys how to like utilize them that way. Other ones are more in game, I'd say. Like the weather dice are good for like actually changing weather in your game. Phase of the moon. I know Phil wrote something about phases of the moon where it was like, or maybe it might not have been Phil. I think it was in Hexagram where it was like using the moon dice in the games of the fantasy.
Oh,
group,
yeah.
Where it's like it might be harder to do stuff at night, like sneaking around and stuff like that. We do bad luck die,
So hear me out.
7 deadly sins. There's a lot of cool stuff like that.
Meta stream, okay?
No.
We get Zodiac die, the Elder Futhark die, the 7 Deadly Sins die, and the Bad Luck die. That's like 4.
We start rolling.
You
We use
roll a
those as
die
our
to find out
combat.
which die you have. No, you roll a die
Oh
to find
my
out which
God,
die you have to
Jimmy.
use to create your character.
Oh, Jimmy. I swear to God. Jimmy, what are we doing? What are we doing here, man?
And then you could grab the weather dice.
No, you have to.
and combine them together and do like a map.
And you can only do. Yeah, that's what. Those are good for like maps and stuff like
Oh, yeah.
that. Which is another thing. I don't know if
the
anyone.
rainy
Can't-
forest.
can't-
or-
RNG the campaign.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's doing it, but there's a big post that's going on. Like one of those types of like hashtag type things. I think it's called Dungeon 23, where you do like a
Oh,
dungeon
yeah.
every day or dungeon every week or something like that in a journal.
Right.
I wonder if anyone does that for the fantasy strip. That'd be kind of cool to utilize for stuff like that. Cause it's like you don't necessarily always have the brain power to like think of something along those lines. It could be like start generating stuff with dice.
Yeah, yep.
Roll something out. But yeah, unless you have any other questions, I think that'll be it for today's stream.
Randy, who missed this, Randy suggests that wealth could also be considered as power if you were.
Of course, Randy thinks wealth is power. I'm joking. That's a good idea. Wealth could be construed. And yeah, it's all interpretation. That's the whole point of these things.
Yeah.
It's working similar to the Zodiac.
It's
It's
just-
working similar to Tarot. You're having to interpret stuff versus
It's giving you places to jump off from to create something when you're sitting there going, what do I do this time? Another rogue?
Yes. The answer is yes, but also think about using the Elder Futhark die or the Zodiac die or somehow do the 7 Deadly Sins dice maybe. See if they have any kind of, or some kind of terrible sin that they've committed. That's a fun one. That would be really fun to integrate. Just determine like randomly what sin they represent or have committed. And that's part of their
I
background.
think you go like in your session 0, you go, all right, you all made your you've created a character concepts. Now let's throw a wrench at each of them.
Oh my God! What if you had everyone create their character? They come to session 1, and then you're like, okay, now all of you are afflicted with bad luck in one way, and you roll the bad luck die to see which version
I still
of
think
bad
you do
luck.
session 0, but you get everyone to a stage where they've got their concepts down. You're like, all right, here's the monkey wrench that goes into your concept. This is your sin. This sin is what you embody, or this bad luck is what curses you.
I disagree. I feel monkey wrenches should be immediate and all the time. You just throw them in immediately.
Just right.
No session 0. That is your session 0. It's called the monkey wrench session. You get your monkey wrench immediately.
Well, you still want to be able to work it into the character.
I did. I'm gonna work it into the character. I'm gonna work it in.
Not beat it into the character.
Well, we have different interpretations, Jimmy. I feel like maybe we just don't agree on this. So guys, thanks for watching. That was a lot of fun. You can get the Elder Futhark Die on our dice store right now. You can pre-order that. It might also be on Warehouse 23, but if you want to check out some of the other dice that aren't out yet, I'd recommend checking it out on the Backer Kit Dice store, simply because you could pre-order them all at the same place at the same time. and
Paul
it's
would like to
convenient.
welcome you to the meeting of the Evil GM Society.
Perfect. I'm in. It started with the word evil, so I'm in. We have these dice available for pre-order right now. Those are closing on the 16th, so that's coming up pretty soon. Keep an eye out for that. And hope we're back streaming again, so stay tuned for more of that. We got some cool stuff coming up. Maybe do some Illuminati. We got some upcoming Kickstarter projects where we'll be able to play some new stuff live on stream. I'm really pumped about that.
We'll probably do some more Munchkin Digital too.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot of stuff planned for 2023, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to 2023. See you guys next time on SJGames Live.
Later.